Welcome, welcome. I am checking to see if we are live. We are live, and I am sharing to our different pages, to Caribbean American Diaspora, to Caribbean Diaspora Vibes, to Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network. While I'm doing that, big up, Louis. Talk to Arlene.
Yes. Big up, and
Big up, big
welcome.
up.
Dr. Arlene, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm well. All is well.
All is well. We're here.
Yes. Amen. Awesome.
Yes, we
Welcome,
have.
everybody. Beautiful day in Central Florida
Yes.
and beautiful day in Jamaica. I see about 80 degrees with some clouds down there. Nice. And we've been enjoying a nice weather here, Donna, with some rain and all that good
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
we
Love it.
definitely have. Um, I think we are live to our major pages. Welcome,
Awesome.
welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us again. We are so excited to bring you this topic. Land and title matters in Jamaica, right? We have lots of good information for you. Let me welcome everyone. My name is Donna Morgan, and I am the president of Caribbean American Diaspora Alliance, president of Women of Culture Incorporated, where we support children and families affected by incarceration, homelessness, and trauma, and a real estate broker, Florida, and mindset coach. We are so looking forward for this topic and many more, right? Because I know lots of you have questions about land matters and all the squatters and all the, all that goes along with land in Jamaica. So big ups, Louis. Did
Big
you
up.
you did your station ID? I'm
No,
sorry,
I
I
just
was.
want to welcome everyone to the CRRFM network. We are live this evening with Caribbean Diaspora Vibes. My name is Witter. I am your realtor for Central Florida, and of course, we're going to talk about some land and title and all that good stuff about Jamaica. And we're hoping to go into other countries soon. But today we'll focus on Jamaica and what going on down there. We want to welcome our panel specialists this evening. Both of you young ladies, we want to welcome you.
Yes. And how about you, Dr. Arlene?
I'm doing wonderful, and it's always a blessing to be here among these awesome ladies. And you, our chief, and of course, Louis.
Amen.
Can't do it without you.
Yes. So we
Awesome.
want to introduce, first we'll introduce Nordia. And then, of course, we want to, introduce attorney Shadae. So Nordia, just tell us a little bit about you.
Welcome, Miss Nadia.
Thank you so much for having, well, it's hard to say me, have to say us. Here today, this evening. It's a pleasure to always be in the position to serve.
Yes.
That's what we do. That's our life, and we enjoy doing that. So I am Nordia, and I'm a diaspora engagement business specialist, and also the CEO of Integrated Diaspora Services. And what we do every day is really um, improve, seek out more greater ways to engage the diaspora and find better ways for them to connect home and better ways for them to do business in a seamless, efficient manner, in a trusted environment with competent experts in the field, and that they always feel connected back home. So I'm happy to have here today my colleague and head of our legal department, Shadae, to continue this agenda, this vision of our hearts to ensure that our people are kept engaged, and that they have their legacies in positioned to leave behind for their children. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. All right.
Important, right?
Welcome.
Having that legacy in place properly, because we can sometimes think we have things in place and then come to find out it was not done
Mhm.
properly. This person, I've seen it somebody else came and something was sold, and then you have a bag of fighting, and stressful.
Mhm.
So we want to definitely guide you, and we appreciate you both so, so, so much. Thank you. Thank you. Attorney Shadae, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, Ms. Shadae.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Good to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Awesome.
Yes. So you get to tell us about who you are, and then we'll jump in our conversation.
Sure, sure. So I'm an attorney in Jamaica and also in St. Lucia. I focus on, well, my firm focus on real estate, estate planning. We also do tax advisory services. So we do assist persons with tax planning and all of that. Commercial law, really civil litigation, everything really except criminal law. That's what I focus on. I've been an attorney in Jamaica for almost 10 years. The head of legal services at Integrated Diaspora Services, and also the head of the legal services at SBO Consultants Limited. I used to work at the Bank of Jamaica a long time ago. I've also worked at KPMG, Cygnus Capital. So I've been around, and now I'm focusing on growing our business, focusing really on having persons come back and invest in Jamaica to let them know how to navigate the legal landscape and how to have their affairs in order. And that's why we're here.
Great.
All right. Very
You know,
good.
she barely looks over 16. Look how, you know,
Thank you.
all this,
Nice. Very
all these
good.
years of experience. I'm like, what?
I'm not that young at all.
All right.
The yam and all that good stuff back home, right?
That fresh food I had, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
No,
Very good. Coconut water too.
this is real estate, all the different things that we need, even trying to purchase a home, all of that, you know. Love it that you're here with us, and because it's important to find trusted, oh Lord, trusted professionals.
Mm.
We've heard a lot of horror stories,
Yes,
right?
that's
So
true.
we are so thankful and grateful for you. So tell us tips and advice, you know, for getting land or situating land or getting people off of your land.
Okay, so there are several things. And I want to just say that this is not legal advice. It's
Right.
just for general nature. And if
Hmm.
you want legal advice, you can contact us. Because I know some persons, when they hear things, they say, okay, then this applies to me. But then each circumstance, have different solutions. So we will say that a disclaimer, this is just general information. So in terms of Jamaica and the land issue in Jamaica, because land still remains a big issue in Jamaica, unfortunately, and that's largely due to the informal land settlement and the fact that a large portion of lands in Jamaica still remains unregistered. So you have situations in Jamaica where persons have been paying property taxes for years. Persons will say that, oh, my grandmother would have lived on this property for 20 years and now it belongs to me. But then when it comes time for them to sell the property or even use the property to access loans from the bank, come to find out that that property is not registered, which means that there is no formal title for that property. Because to have formal title, you have to actually register the property with the land agency. So unregistered land still remains a large issue in Jamaica because a lot of persons they pay taxes, but they have no title, no physical document to say my name is on this property, I'm the legal owner. So we do assist clients, we do assist persons with formally registering their property. As it relates to squatting and getting persons off the property, that's a complex issue, I must say, because what happens with squatting in Jamaica is that the law allows for persons who have been squatting on your property, and by squatting, for the legal concept, which we say is adverse possession, which means that they have been occupying or possessing or exclusively possessing this property for 12 years or more undisturbed. the law allows them to now apply for title for that property. So if you have been living overseas for years and you have not maintained or checked on your property any at all, and you have families who come in and they squat on your land, they've been living there, they build dwelling houses on the property, they raise their children, they pay the taxes and everything. So the law is saying that once they have been doing that for 12 years or more and nobody disturbs them, the law allows them to actually apply for title for that property to become the legal owner. So if you are overseas and you have title, what happens is that the law cancels your original title. So the squatter, once they apply for title, they become the true owner. So your title is of no value anymore, basically.
After how
So
many years?
12
Well,
years or more.
12 years or more.
Right. So we do encourage persons who are overseas to continue to maintain the property. And I want to stress that paying taxes alone is not maintaining the property. So the law doesn't look at only, oh, I've been paying the taxes for 20 years, so they can't do that. No. The
Very
law
good.
wants you to do more than just paying taxes. And paying property taxes doesn't equate to you being a true owner. You have to actually exercise acts of possession. You have to do the bushing, put up sign, no trespassing sign. You can hire a person to, come in to maintain the property. And even if you have somebody to come in and maintain the property, I will encourage you to have a legal or something in writing with that person, because we do have matters in court now where the maintenance person now is trying to claim the property by adverse possession. You do have that situation. Yes,
Wow.
it's funny, but it happens
Hey.
quite a lot. We
Oh
actually
my
have a matter
goodness.
in court
Yes.
for that
Yes.
same thing. They have been engaged to maintain the property. They probably listen to one of these seminar podcast and I realized that, oh, well, I've been living here for 12 years or more undisturbed. I can go and apply for title. And now we're in court trying to get back the title for the person because the maintenance person is trying to say that, oh, I'm adversely possessing, I'm squatting, they're squatters' rights. So we do encourage you to say, if you have a maintenance person, you have a legal contract in writing with that person to say that, look, you're just maintaining the property on my behalf. You're not to exercise any acts of ownership, etc., etc. That's also important, not just by word of mouth having that person there.
Yes. Very good.
So
Good stuff.
that's good to do.
Awesome.
that's good.
People take away your property for nothing.
For nothing, I tell you, and
Yes,
yes, and it's
it's
cheaper.
crazy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. They just adverse to possess and they apply for title. And it's been happening quite a lot. So we do encourage persons who are overseas, especially, to continue to maintain the property. Have a trusted person, even if they're trusted, have something in writing with them.
Yes.
Some persons they send money through Western Union or whatever for the persons to pay the taxes. We're saying no, you can go online and pay it yourself.
Right.
Because what they do, they pay it in their names and they say, look, I've been paying it. They didn't send me any money, because word of mouth, I can say anything. There's no legal contract between us. So you do have situations like that.
So that person can claim it because they pay that money through into their name.
Right, they pay it through their
land
names
title.
and they're also possessing it. So they're living there,
Right.
maintaining it. So they're saying that, oh, I've been squatting, I've been adversely possessing, I've been in open, continuous, and undisturbed possession, and therefore I can apply for title through the legal means.
Right. But
And
them have the receipt anyway to show, right? They
right,
have
and
all that
not only
receipt.
the receipts, because receipts alone is just one thing, but they can show that they've been living there, they build houses, they have, all those other things. So, so we do encourage persons to just have something in writing to say that they're just maintaining.
It
But
doesn't matter if it's a sister, brother, just put it in writing, bottom line.
exactly, because
That's
they
it.
have so much matters in
Yes.
court for that same thing. Yes.
Yes. Very
Do
good.
you know how many people have land and have been paying and have not been home and just paying, tax and doing all those things, right? But have not come home, or even if they do come home, maybe don't even go visit the land. Oh, I want a piece of land, but you're not really paying attention to it. So that would be, what a surprise.
It's been happening quite a lot. And sometimes when persons even adversely possess and receive title for the property, because the persons have not checked on the property, they don't even know. So what happens is that persons will get title for the property through squatters' rights, and you're overseas and you have your title and you say, oh, I have the title, I'm the owner. But your title is no longer valid because the law would have canceled your title because somebody would have squatted and applied for title through
After
adverse possession.
after 12 years.
After 12 years. So they no longer, your title that you have no longer have any value. So if you have children know that you want to leave something to, they want to go back to Jamaica to live, you give them a title, say, okay, I'm transferring something to you. When you go back to Jamaica, you realize that somebody has been living there and they too have title for the property. So you do have to do it.
How can you check to see the title situation? Just online too, easy?
You can check, you can engage an attorney to do some investigations, or you can check on the National Land Agency's website.
Oh,
It's called eLand. You can do a check on to see if the property is registered in your name, if there's a what they call a caveat, if there's a stop order, injunction, or you can check to see what's happening with the property. However, if there's a court matter, you would know, you can check on the land agency's website to see if there's a court matter.
right.
So it just tells you what has been happening with the land in terms of who is the owner, of whether there's something lodged on it. But for the court order, you'd have to check with the court to see what's going on with the property. But we do encourage persons to continue to maintain, that's important. And unregistered land still remains a big issue. I would say about 80% of our clients that we have in the diaspora, majority, when they come to us, it's to register land, because what happens is that their grandmother, grandfather, whoever it is, that is passing land to them, there's no formal title. They've never seen a title. The
Right.
grandmother would say, oh, I own this property. My great-great-grandfather left it to me. But there is no formal title because that property has never been registered with the land agency in Jamaica. So when the grandchildren now inherit this property and they want to sell or they want to start a business and they want to use the land as collateral for a loan, what happens now is that they can't get anything or do anything because there is no title. So now they have the added burden of engaging an attorney and having that attorney register the property for them. So sometimes they haven't been in Jamaica for years, so they don't know anybody in Jamaica that can do a declaration for them to say that, oh, I know that John Doe left property for his grandson. So that sometimes becomes an issue because, your grandparents or whoever never registered the property. So it becomes a burden to you now to know, get it registered so that you can now sell, or you can use the land as collateral for a loan, if you want to start a business or whatever. And we've been helping persons to get titles for their property, not the persons who, now want to register their property because now they want to do estate planning and they want to leave the property. They want to have something tangible that they can now leave, to their, their children or whatever.
And so we're saying it's 12 years, not 7.
12 years.
12
For
years.
adverse possession, yes.
12 years. 12 years.
Yes.
What is the difference between common law title and a registered title?
Well, a common law title means that you have no formal title, as I was explaining before. It's not registered. So what you have is you've been probably maintaining the property, or you probably get a loan from the National Housing Trust, but you have no formal title. So what you have is just documents to say that you've gotten a loan, and you have a surveyor's report that you would have done, but you have no formal title, no physical
No documents.
no registered. It's not registered with the land agency.
Right. So that's where that common law comes in.
Right. And then you can use your common law because it's not a formal document. It's just that you have some documentation to say that you have ownership of the property, but it's unregistered ownership. So you have no registered document. So we have been helping persons as well, because we do have clients who have common law title, So they do have documents that they would have gotten loan from the National Housing Trust. And they would have some conveyance documents, like some transfer, some agreement for sale document to say that, look, I've bought this property, I have receipts, but they don't have any registered title. So if you have the common law title, we do assist persons who have common law title to now register there, to formally register the title, to get a registered title in their name.
All right. So that's whew. All right. So at
Heavy
least
stuff.
that's good. Yeah. No,
That's a
man,
heavy, yeah, it's
I,
a heavy thing right there.
Yes,
yeah, I
because
can
what you
see it
find,
happening.
yeah, because what you find is that we have clients too. It's some different situations. I have a client, some clients who would have bought property for years, from 1990 or 1980. They would have bought property, but what they would have gotten, they didn't engage an attorney, and what they got was a receipt. So they have this old receipt that they come to us in, oh, I want to do something, but all I have is this, I am the legal owner, but all they have is this old receipt. So the law looks at that as common law title, but it is not it's not registered. You have no
Registered title.
registered title. So even though you have the common law title, which is really just the receipt or an agreement for sale, you still have to register the property
Gotcha.
to
Okay.
get formal
Makes
title.
sense. Makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense.
So that's the first step then, is to contact someone like you to see not just ownership, but then if there's any legal proceedings or anything like that happening, because that might be going on all at the same time. And then, now that we are hearing this, have people go check check on the property, see who's there.
Yes.
Thank God if nobody's on the property, right? And then you gotta hire a local man to go and put some signs up, or you gotta, yeah,
Yes, and
yeah.
take pictures and stuff. Yes, because a lot of this has been happening. Persons are more aware, information is more forthcoming.
Mhm.
So you do have persons who they listen and they say, okay, then I can apply. Because quite a few persons apply for title through adverse possession. And that's how they become, legal owners of the property. Because once you apply and you get title, you're now the legal owner.
Right. And 12 years is really, well, it's long for a squatter, but not long for someone that's, move and think that they're all set up. That's
12
not,
years move fast, Donna. 12
yeah,
years
yeah,
move
yeah,
like that. You'll be
yeah,
sitting down, come up foreign and sit down, and in no time, 12 year pass,
true.
just like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And
that
you
person
think you're set,
realizes,
right?
yeah.
You don't think you have anything to worry about. So that's like at the back
Mhm.
of, your mind and all of that. So I can see where it can be a shocking
Yeah. Yeah.
thing to find out. So, all right.
If you have well, somebody die who have a register um, title then, and
Mm-hmm.
with no will or no nothing. Up here we use will, of course. I would think is possible the same thing in Jamaica. What are some of the things that people need to do immediately if somebody passed away down there? I'm heading down there. Yes, the land is registered, but there is no connection to say, well, this person get the land or get the house, whatever the case. What are those things? I'm pretty. There are quite a bit of people who lost their loved one, and when them go down, there is nothing to say, hey, I'm passing this on to you, because nobody prepare anything. Most of our
Mm-hmm.
people don't do wills or don't do any of
Right.
those things. What are the best situation how to handle
And
those?
that's a good thing that you mentioned, Jamaicans not preparing wills, because that is a big issue in
Yes.
Jamaica. And in fact, I believe the minister, Mr. Delroy Chuck, he had done a session where he was talking about the burden that is now being placed on the government to administer property, over 50 billion worth of property, because Jamaicans fail to draft wills. And he was actually urging Jamaicans to draft wills. But in a situation that you mentioned, if there's registered title and somebody dies and they leave no will, you can still apply for property to be transferred to you, but you'd first have to apply for what they call in Jamaica grant of administration or
Hmm.
letters of administration. That is a legal process which really say that, okay, you have no will, but the law looks at the order of priority to see who can apply. So if somebody dies and they left a spouse, their husband or their wife, the husband or the wife is the first person who can apply for grant of administration to administer that person's estate. The law in Jamaica also looks at common law relationships. They'll view that they are spouses as well. And once you get a declaration to prove common law spouse issued by the court, you are in the first priority to apply. Because in Jamaica, a lot of things are in film, but a lot of persons don't get married. So the law still recognizes common law relationships. And once you get a declaration to say that to establish your common law relationship, you are still in the first order of priority to apply for a grant of administration. If there is no spouse, then the second person who can apply is the children of the deceased person. The children and the spouse can do a joint application, because there are situations where the children and the spouse come together and they apply jointly for a grant of administration because they want both names to be on it. If there's no surviving spouse, if there's no children, the third order is the parents who can apply. If there is no surviving parent, the brothers and sisters of the same parent. If there is no brothers and sisters of the same parent, then half brother and sister. There's none of that, then the grandparent. Then it goes on to the uncle and aunt. If there's none of that, then the government is then charged with administering the estate. Now, if there is somebody who is in the order of priority who can apply, once they come to us, what we do is that we prepare the documentation for them to be the personal representative of the deceased person estate. And once the court issues what they call a grant of administration, then you can then use that to register your name on the title, if there is registered title. Because we have done that quite a few times. The process can take up to 12 months, but it depends on when you get the information to us. We have done grants of administration where we have done 3 months, 6 months, some up to 12 months, but it really depends on the backlog at the court and also when our clients get the information to us. So you can get title in your name if your mother or father left no will, or whomever to you left no will. You still can apply for title in your name through another process called grant of administration. So there is that possibility.
But you have to move fast. Once that you have to, or
Not really. It's not a time sensitive. It's just that is order of priority. So if you are interested in getting it transferred in your name, then you can. I mean, the longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. Jamaica. I always tell people Jamaica is very expensive to live. So the longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. Things might go up, you don't know. So I do encourage persons to do it. Sometimes what happens though is that even though there's registered title, because persons don't know where their loved one would have kept those documents, they can't find the original document. You do have situations where it's registered, it's in the National Land Agency, in the National Land Agency system, but you have lost it. So we do assist persons with doing a lost title application to get original title as well. Because there are a lot of situations where they just can't find it because they didn't know where their mother, father, or grandparent kept those titles.
is the government or the legal professional like yours, are you guys doing any form of education to educate the public about doing these things, especially getting will done? Because all of that goes back to education, educating the people and letting them know, listen, these things must be done because it's important. If you have an asset as piece of land or a house, those things must be done. Anything like that going on in Jamaica?
Yes, it is being done. I just feel sometimes persons, may or may not attend or they may not listen, but there are quite a few seminars, even some seminars put on by the government to educate persons about estate planning, because, you've worked all your life to acquire all these assets, and then you die and then there's no will, there's dispute among family members about who gets what. They always talk about dead left in Jamaica, and things can get very violent, about who gets what. you know, and then if there's no will, you know, the government sometimes have to step in and there's an added burden now. And once the government steps in, you know, that takes forever, sad to say, for you now to get titled for the property. And that's because sometimes our people are not really, as I say, educated enough about drafting wills. Persons feel as if, you know, they don't want to go to a lawyer because they don't want to spend no money, go to a lawyer. They can't bother with that. So that's also an issue. You know, persons feel that the lawyer go, you know, too much money and they can't bother or whatever with the legal process. But it, you know, sometimes spending the money now actually saves you and the beneficiaries later. It's all better for persons who you're leaving it to. They do, you know, they don't have the added burden now to go on. Because you do have situations, you know, where persons die and their children can't register the title, can't transfer title in their name because they just don't have the money to do it. So they do have registered title, but then they don't have any money to go now and to say, okay, I'm paying a lawyer or I'm paying, you know, even the fees to now transfer property into my name. That they can't even find stamp duty fees or the registration fees to go and pay for it. So you do have situations like that that exist.
Yes.
Shadae, I hear of this insurmountable problem. And piggyback onto what Louis said, I was just thinking of the community that I grew up in. And when people did not know how to read, and certain of those, well, they were not trained teachers, but educators in, you know, it was called Jamal. So I was just thinking that, like, if it's sent to churches, um, grow up some people with this knowledge, train them, and it's community based all over the country. I know the government is trying, but I think when you bring it down to the communities, they have trusted people that they can depend on. I know some of my folks, when I say folk, church folks, you know, they were leaders in the community. And they look up to them, and what they said is the gospel truth. And I'm just thinking of this. Why? Because my father, you know, left England, went to Jamaica, purchased all these properties. My father passed several years ago, passed on one of those properties to my brother. He has no title. You own a house. And where's the paper? So I'm empathizing with a lot of individuals who are in this situation. As I heard you spoke about, you know, common law relationship and grant of administration. My cousins, I didn't know what this was all about tonight. She should have been on. But the children here are many children scattered from Florida, New York, Texas, Georgia, and they're paying all this money trying to get the properties that their father left, big house or houses. And the common law wife says, the man's wife died, you know, several years ago, said, I am the wife. So there's this huge fight going on, and they're paying thousands of dollars. They're crying to me all the time, Arlene, you need to pray some more. I don't know, but I'm listening to you. And this comes home to me because this is serious business. So I'm just thinking that I think that they should, yes, say it from their platform, bring it down to the communities. And because this is our home. This is, you know, one of my family members lost a house out there in Jamaica. They're here. Squatters took it over, you know? So it's real, okay?
Serious business,
Yes,
serious
yes,
business.
yes. Knowledge
Very
is
real.
power. Yes, yes, it's true.
We had a question. Can the adverse, can it be reversed? Like once the squatters apply and they get it, and then you find out, say you find out later on, can it be reversed, or is that a final?
So the
Shadae,
law, sorry, yes.
before you answer the question, I don't want to miss the one from Dr. Arlene.
Mm-hmm.
That to be fair though to some of the lawyers and advocates of this vision, there have been community initiatives that have been engaged in the churches and so on, both locally and overseas. So they're doing it little by little, and we here are actually evidence of
Yes.
the education thrust to speak to the diaspora as much as possible for those who have left Jamaica for many years, especially those especially Britain, from the Windrush generation who have left for a long time. And we see a lot of that, right, Shadae? A lot of that
Yes.
community. But the thing is, many people just see it as another talk. So they don't tell
Yes.
anybody, they don't tell their friend.
Mhm.
So we've been doing this, we're actually on a campaign to educate our people across the world, in Jamaica and across the world. So listen, we're here to help you secure your legacy. We don't want you to continue quarreling that the Chinese are taking over your land or some squatter or somebody you don't know is living there. So we're asking everyone who is listening, when you see these flyers come out, when you hear the radio programs, nudge somebody else. I say, come on and listen, because the activities they're actually going on. But a lot of people don't see it as a priority. It is seen as another talk until they hear like, somebody did hear somebody talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And then which I said all the time, this is almost a free consultation. Because anyhow you call us next week, it is going to be a whole different Shadae, not just going to answer the phone and say, oh, let me tell you
Right.
all of these beautiful things. No, it is not going to be like that. So these are opportunities where you get to ask the questions. She's right here to answer you.
So
Yes.
I'm gonna do a community solicitation. When can we get you guys down in Kissimmee? Because there's a lot of Yardie, a lot of Jamaican down this side of town, and we don't see people like you coming around. Yes, you might be in Orlando, you might be in Miami, you might be in England and all those places, but Osceola County, Polk County coming together, we need town hall meetings with people like yourself that can talk directly to the people. A lot of people down there have land and property still at Jamaica, but we are not getting those one-on-one upfront talk with people like yourself who have the ability to talk to us. When can we,
Again, we're
of
asking for the
course,
churches, we're
yeah,
asking for the
yeah.
associations. We, Shadae and myself, basically have availed ourselves. If you want us to come,
All right, we talk.
arrange it, get the
Yes.
people together, we will come.
And we will come.
Absolutely.
We will
All right,
come.
sound
So
like a
we're
plan.
calling on all, you can call them across the world. We will come. We're bullish
Okay.
about getting our people in order. It's that season of being in order. So
And this is definitely
when
the
you're ready,
beginning
we're ready.
of the educational outreach of getting
Right,
the word out, because this really can also go, all over, not just even Florida or one county,
right.
Orlando or Tampa, or, it can be
Yes,
definitely, we can use this platform to spread it and share and share and share.
yeah.
And it's twofold. You're getting information, but it's not just information, so you can go and sort it out yourself. It's a one-stop shop. So we're actually going to give you the hand-holding to execute and put things in order. So it's a double whammy.
Get things done.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
like the idea. Of course, we grew up with churches, community. Go back to what Dr. Arlene said, and you're confirming it. But we grew up with the church. The church was the number one place that you get this information from. The pastors or the ministers, whoever had the pulpit, this was where we used to get it from. Yes, even before Jamal come in place, and a lot of us know what that Jamal class is, but the church was the place. The minister
Mm-hmm.
would take a few minutes or come later or come early before the service and let us talk and to tell you how you're supposed to handle your personal business. Those things definitely need to come back into our community. So I encourage all the ministers
Yes.
and pastors, for those of you who are listening back in Jamaica and all the different islands and right here in the diaspora, these matters need to be upfront. Church is about community and giving people the opportunity to work and to sustain their business and have good sense about taking care of the business. So I encourage everybody to do that.
Thing is, wherever you're listening, you can reach out to attorney Shadae and Nordia to get help, right? So even if they're in UK, Canada,
Yes.
wherever, US, wherever, Germany, they can reach out. So, because we have, partners in all over the world. So, we want to also hear, unless you have any further tips about land, Attorney Shadae, we want to also hear a little bit from Nordia about the services
She provides.
that
Yep.
you guys provide, because that's always another hot topic.
I think you had asked Shadi a question. I didn't want anybody to miss that one about the adverse possession. I don't know if you wanted
Oh,
her
nearly
to answer
forgotten.
that.
Yes, yes. You see how quickly.
Right. The thing about reversal, yes, I remember. Um, it depends. It depends. It's not, unless you can prove fraud. But once a person have gotten title, um, then there is a provision in the law that statute bars you from then going to apply, as the original owner. But it really depends. It's a yes or no answer to that question. So it depends on the circumstance. So we'd have to review the circumstance, around the squatting and how they acquire title to determine if it is that, it can be reversed. So it's a yes and no, really. It really
Wonderful.
depends on the situation.
Possibility.
Yes.
Miss Nadia?
Okay, so one of my favorite services is actually land and title and property matters. Why? Because it encapsulates almost all the other services comes tied back in. So normally, persons who are doing requesting services like this, a lot of times their records are out of order. So Shade will ask them for birth certificates, any record, marriage certificates. They have to have a TRN, a tax registration number for any land matter in Jamaica, a death certificate, and sometimes people may wonder, why is it that these things takes 3 years, 4 years, 1 whole year? Because a lot of times these records are not in place, or even they're in place, people find out that, boy, the will was left in Donna Morton, and the title is in Donna Morgan. That is two different, those are two different persons, which already saw the entire application.
Or
So
sometimes, Nordia, remember, sometimes, for persons who are of a certain age, they have 10 different documents with 10 different names.
right.
So we do have a lot of situations like that where, your great grandmother, she has 5 different names, and I'm talking about the
Right.
first name, not even the last name. So sometimes, you have to, rectify situations like that. So that takes some time.
Sometimes you have to prove. So if you come and you tell Shade or tell us that, boy, my mother had this land, or it is the land of my father and it was willed to me, we need to prove that you're actually related to these persons. When you look on the birth certificates, for example, there's no record of this person being your mother or your father. Or if you have somebody who's not this person on it, that requires rectifying, and sometimes it takes a long time because you have to do the addition of father's particulars, for example, or on your birth certificate, your mother's middle name, the middle name stated on your birth certificate is not the middle name on hers. We have to do a correction of error at the Registrar General's office. So all those things, the death certificate can be found. The grandmother also was registered, but there's no last name, and them dead, so they can't do a deed poll. So
It's a mess.
all of those moving parts, we have to. And that's why we really love the idea of the one-stop shop, because persons may come frustrated and say, but how are we going to get help? We all pull together as a team, all the moving parts and the supporting persons on the ground to make it possible to ensure that at the end of the day, nobody leaves saying it's only in the rarest situation where somebody will leave and say, boy, we really, really can't help you, But we cover a barrage of services across we facilitate many of the government transactions, teachers who may be seeking letters of good standing, or persons who are employed overseas seeking letters of good standing, police records, anything you can think of government transactions that needs physical presence on the ground. We're able to assist all legal matters, including criminal. We handle all real estate matters in partners with real estate licensed practitioners. So we have vetted all these persons. So many persons' issue is with trust in the diaspora. How can I trust these
Yeah.
persons? But they can't. These are licensed practitioners. and they can be researched if persons have an issue. We have been doing this for the past 5 years, and our background, like Shadae, has been in banking for 14 years. We work a lot with the high commissions, supporting these high commissions and consulates. Like on the 8th of November, we'll be in Tampa working along with the Consul General from Miami, again, another community initiative. So we continue to do this like 24/7. And we're
Yes.
not the typical company that close up at 5 o'clock and say, please leave a message right after the tone. No. We're pretty supportive because we are cognizant of different time zones as well. But there's no issue that we want anybody from the diaspora, the Caribbean diaspora, to have. And they come up saying that there's no way they can find help. We never want that to happen. We never want a family or a generation shortchanged because they couldn't get the right information or they couldn't find the right person to help. And that is what Integrated Diaspora Services stands for. And we advocate for every single day.
Nordia, right now you're helping individuals, diaspora from Jamaica alone or any other countries so far?
So we cater for the Afro-Caribbean community. So we have partners across within Africa, as well as across the Caribbean. And really and truly, if you're Jamaican, more than likely you have a lot of connection to Caribbean nationals. We're really out of one people in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some of the persons who come to us and you hear them with different accents. You're like, oh no, I love Jamaica because I got married to Jamaican. Or they just fall in love with us and they want to do business. They want to purchase property in Jamaica, or in Africa, or in some other Caribbean territory. As Shadae said, she's also a licensed practitioner in St. Lucia. So we've assisted persons in Grenada, in Trinidad, in Barbados, in different parts of the Caribbean, as well as we get requests from Africa as well, and across the different spaces where the diaspora are globally.
Enough things. As we said, enough things are going. Very good.
Assisting with birth certificates, things like that, was it?
So we have all records. So that covers birth, death, marriage,
passport
and
as well.
Passport. So we assist with that.
Mm-hmm.
And why we say assist, because the consulates are there. The high commissions are there. However, we understand that there are persons who may not be tech savvy. That's one. Sometimes they may need help vetting the documents to ensure that when they get to the consulate or to Jamaica, they're accurate. Because what happens is that many times there are discrepancies that prolong the length of time or the turnaround time for passports. So we've seen persons who are in, they're not married. And they tick marriage, that they're married on the form. And that throws out the entire application. Sometimes the pictures are not taken properly, and that throws out the application. The birth certificates may be the old ones, and that throws out the application. So there are many different issues that can affect persons submitting applications, and we want to ensure that even if you just call us, and we can vet the application for you to ensure it mitigates against the back and forth and the long turnaround time that people are experiencing.
All right, good stuff.
All right, good information. I love it.
Great information. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So we're all sorted out, I believe. You did say you guys are coming. Was that you also, Attorney Shadae, or no?
No, Shadae won't be with me this time.
No, not this time.
But as I said, once you make the arrangements for us to come in, we have no issues. And even persons who are planning to come back to Jamaica, because we know that it's a sensitive time. It's a time of uncertainty, both in the United States, in Canada too, and in UK as well. Many persons are on edge as to what to do. Many are preparing to come home. We are in that process too, in terms of the repatriation process, what is required, what should we be thinking of a year before, 5 years before. and the process, what that entails. What do I need to do? What do I need to start doing? Do I get a TRN? Do I get a bank account? Do I get my passport? Do I start looking land, or do I look a house? Which areas are better? Do I go back to where I used to live when I lived in Jamaica? Because not everybody can go back to where they resided after living there for 30 years. So we really want to have those discussions, start having more of those discussions that people are prepared. People are prepared.
That's important. That's critical right now. That's not even, that's more than important. That's like number one right now.
Critical.
Yeah, people need guidance on, and all of that, because it is a lot. It's a lot. You've been here forever, right? Many came as young children, and so if you did decide to make that move, there's a lot you need to figure out and all of that. So I am so glad that we have, support like you, team, to be able to reach out to and have our audience just say, hey, to any questions or anything. So I love it. So you do consultations, and how do you guys do it? How do you do consultations?
Persons who may be interested in whether land and title or whatever the issue is. And again, we want to reiterate that for the property matters, it's a one-stop shop. So we cover the legal part. If you need a mortgage, financing, we've partnered with brokers as well that in terms of the main bank, all the banks, because they're based on the situation, conditions may differ for every borrower, for different borrowers. So the lawyer, the mortgage, the financing, those who need a valuator, surveyor, somebody to look and go and look if the land still exists.
Justice of the peace, everybody, everything.
Yes, the one-stop shop. So people can call, and we have brochures in terms of if you're selling or if you're selling a property, we facilitate that as well. Or you're purchasing, we have ready information that people can have the guidance on that. But if they want to call us and schedule a detailed consultation, they can call in for that. Or email us at, pardon?
That is free, or is there a cost
first
of
30 minutes is free. So when you call me and talk to me, you will be talking to me for free. But once you head over to Shadae, it gets technical. That means that's a direct consultation.
Right.
So, because there's some things, and Shadae will agree, that you don't necessarily need to speak with her entirely because it's a one-two, right, Shadae? There's some things we can just tell you, this is what you need to do. Because we don't want people to think that when you call IDS, it's money you're thinking. The first thing you could think is that I'm getting help and I'm getting support. So we are not going to charge you to tell you to go, this is the wrong direction, or to charge you on the right course. So we want people to understand that. Right?
IDS is Integrated Diaspora Service, correct?
Yes.
Integrated Diaspora Services.
All right.
And will you leave your phone number and social media, etc.?
Right. So I can give it now. And of course, we really want people to, while I will give our contact numbers, we really want to be that support to the association. So we actually, even though we're giving it, we want persons to know that the Caribbean American Association is here. So we want, as much as possible, members feel free that if you don't get us, please ensure that you call all these lovely people online, and they definitely can find us when they're ready. But you can get us at 1-876-564-3058. That's 1-876-564-3058, or 347-737-0478. That's 347-737-0478. Or you can email us at integrateddiasporaservices@gmail.com. That's integrateddiasporaservices@gmail.com.
Awesome. Yes, people will text me. You'd be surprised. I get all the texts. Who's this? Who's that? So wonderful information. So any last word from you, Attorney Shadae?
I guess my last words would be similar to what Nordia just said, in terms of, one person's to feel as if they have a community here in Jamaica, a trusted community, So if you do have an issue and you want assistance, we're here to assist you. So call us, email us, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Love it. I love knowing that we have trusted people we can just reach out to for any of that, right? For buying, for selling house, land, anything. So many people need other services, and you got a trusted, team right here. And if you can't do it, you will personally, refer them out to whatever it is. So it's definitely a one-stop shop and a trusted one-stop shop. That's the most important, So thank you all. Dr. Arlene, last words.
Last word is that I feel so blessed and feel so honored to be here. And as Donna speaks about having a trusted community, because in these days, so many things are happening, but to see you, to hear you, and to know you have our people at heart, it's such a wonderful thing. So I thank you so much. And I know I will meet others who will need these services. So I have your names and your number, and I will be sharing it. And thank you for what you do. Truly, we're grateful. Thank you for representing us, because we can't do that work. We do other work. So thank you. This is very important to our community. And, you see advertisement for lawyers out there in the paper, but to meet you, it is such a blessing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And God bless you.
All right, awesome. And Nadia and Shadae, thank you both for coming in this evening and sharing all that knowledge and understanding and wisdom to us. And we certainly hope that all our listeners from across the diaspora, from across the world, we see people from Germany and from the UK and from Canada and all these places log on this evening. And I'm certainly know that they will touch base with you guys, regardless of where they are. Great information. We're looking forward to have you guys in Kissimmee in Osceola County to have a face-to-face talk and to give people a different understanding of really what's going on with their land, their property, and all the good stuff that all of us leave Jamaica and come up here and we totally forget what to do. We're looking forward to have you guys in Kissimmee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have a local person here? Nordia, do you have a local person in Orlando?
Not official local
Not
person. So
okay.
we have persons who like Pastor Rose, even Sir Witter, different persons who we probably know about the services, who continue to promote and support. Hopefully we have something official in different spaces across the world soon. As soon as we do, you can be one of the first persons to know.
Yeah. Any time that we can help or you need to get something out, just let us know. So, I'll connect with Louis and put it on and get you beautiful queens out.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Until next time.
Have a good one. Coming up next right here on the Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network is Soccer Ed's Ball Talk with Mr.